Hello and welcome back to another episode of Humans in 5.
We're back to another Valentine's Day, and today we're chatting about some of the things people do to celebrate, be it middle of the road or a little bit outside the box.
Some couples get into a certain mood this time of year, and that might include some experimentation in the boudoir. Whether or not people act on that mood, pretty much everyone has some kind of fantasy about their personal, romantic, or sexual lives.
Fantasies are a pretty common expression of human sexuality and can take many forms. That being said, many people are ashamed of these fantasies and don't share them with their partners for fear that they might be a little too outside the box.
So, researchers at l'Université du Québec à Trois-Rivières investigated if there was such a thing as an unusual sexual fantasy. They surveyed about 1,500 adults of various sexual preferences about the types of fantasies they'd experienced, as well as how strongly they felt about those fantasies.
They found that, by and large, there weren't very many outliers in terms of people's fantasies. Some were extremely typical, such as feeling romantic emotions during a sexual relationship, seeing atmosphere and location as important components of the experience, or wishing to be in a romantic location.
However, pretty much all other fantasies were quite standard in people's repertoires. For example, 98% of the different types of fantasies discussed were within the realms of expectations. People fantasized about having sex with someone much older or legally younger, or included scenarios with submission or dominance, or they fantasized about a star or a famous person.
They also looked into differences between male and female fantasies. All sexualities were pooled, but researchers noticed that men and women shared some fantasies, like those with themes of submission or dominance. But there were some gender differences in fantasies. For example, anal sex fantasies were more common among men, and filleting someone was more common among women.
Ultimately, this study demonstrated that most people's fantasies aren't as deviant or unusual as you may think. No matter what your fantasy is, you're almost certainly not alone. On top of that, the majority of popular fantasies that registered with a high intensity were well within expectations, and were not things many people would have considered deviant in the first place.
This goes to show there is a range of sexual behaviors that are normal, healthy, and shared amongst your peers. There's nothing to be ashamed of about sexual behavior. So long as everyone is adult and consenting and the situation is legal, there's nothing wrong with exploring those fantasies in a safe and healthy environment.
So this V-Day, you do you, and feel safe in the knowledge that your fantasies aren't as weird as you may think they are.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Humans in 5.
And don't forget to subscribe!